Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Troy Luciani, and I have a great video here for you today on best practices using Cisco WebEx, along with some very useful features on virtual learning inside WebEx for the first-time users. Before we start here today, let's give a brief overview of WebEx. WebEx is an online meeting used for web conferencing and virtual learning. WebEx supports audio conferencing and content sharing from both the PC or mobile. WebEx also allows multiple ways for participants to interact with each other in a virtual environment. The focus of this learning will be on the best practices of conducting yourself in a WebEx virtual learning and identifying features to communicate those best practices. At the end of this learning, you will have a list of best practices to use in WebEx. You'll also be able to identify features, functions, and tools of WebEx. I'm going to provide you the skills needed to respond and interact appropriately in a virtual WebEx environment. Most importantly, you will learn how to communicate in a chat forum, use your webcam, engage the annotative tools, and make use of the audio component in WebEx. This is what I like to call triple tasking. A couple quick tips to start this session. Keep it classy. Dress to impress. You're going to be on camera, so no cutoffs, and avoid those ugly Christmas sweaters. After launching WebEx, select the mute button, or you can use the *6 or #6 on your phone keypad to mute or unmute your line at any time. Try to avoid being that guy or girl who just is heavy breathing on a line and forgets to use their mute. Please don't put us on hold either. 30 people in session on hold, listening to hold music? This is no bueno. These are a couple great reasons to easily get you expelled from the WebEx before you have the opportunity to participate in a great virtual learning experience. Be on time to the WebEx. WebEx has this annoying way of telling everyone in the chat you're late. A beep upon entry signifies that you made it and only 10 minutes late. Oh, great work! In a virtual learning environment, it is important to communicate. WebEx has multiple ways of which participants can connect in the virtual learning platform. To communicate, you can always unmute your line and engage with the host and other participants. There are appropriate times and inappropriate times to voice yourself. This is where your chat tools will really come in handy. Each participant is given emoticons. Let's take a look. We have a green check for yes, red X for no, and the hand raised for questions. There is also additional emoticons located under the happy face. Take, for example, the coffee cup. If you're going on break or stepping away, the coffee cup is a great way to communicate this to the instructor. Using the emoticons is important. Nothing is more frustrating than when you call on someone and there is no response.
Bueller.
Maybe they're in the restroom, maybe they're in the lounge, sipping on some cafe au lait, taking a break. The majority of the time, your answers in the WebEx come directly from your use and interaction with the emoticon feature. So what I'm saying is, when asked a question, respond with emoticon. Another way to converse in the WebEx is using the chat function. When using the chat, remember, keep things brief and to the point. Avoid copy and pasting paragraphs of information. Instead, paste a link to the information everyone can simply click on. The chat forum is not for you to let everyone know your life story. Let's not create a hostage situation here. Don't dive too deep into your life and go on and on. When asked how you're doing, keep it simple.
In third grade, I cheated on my history exam. In fourth grade, I stole my Uncle Max's toupee and I glued it on my face when I played Moses in my Hebrew school play. In fifth grade, I knocked my sister Edie down the stairs and I blamed it on the dog.
And don't forget, please make sure to keep things HR friendly in the chat. There is no forgiveness in the WebEx, especially if it's being recorded. In the chat, when you need to ask the instructor of the WebEx a question and don't want anyone else to know what you're typing, switch your chat drop-down from all participants to private and send that message directly to the host or presenter or both. Don't forget, the instructor knows if you're paying attention. A little exclamation point appears next to your name when you're doing side work and not paying attention. Every adult and kid loves the WebEx annotative tools. The tools allow participants to engage in the learning by pointing to an object using their pointer tool, typing text in the whiteboard or within the PowerPoint by using their text tool, and marking text or objects with a marker using the marker or pencil tool. As these tools can take the virtual session to a whole other level and get learners really participating, instructions on how to use these tools are important to follow. Annotative tools, when used by participants on their own free will, can lead to a deadly distraction. Remember to only use these tools when asked by the instructor. I've seen the tools become overwhelming to some learners. Try to take a deep breath and act on your second or third thought. If you feel these tools become overwhelming, pause. If the instructor reaches the point of having to cut you off from using your annotative tools, this usually results in someone receiving some unforgiving feedback on your virtual learning conduct. For example, an email I recently received. Johnny was really proactive in the virtual session today and displayed some great participation in the WebEx. He did, however, become overwhelmed with the annotative tools and was prevented from using the tools forever. It seems we are out of time and at the end of our learning today. I hope everyone comes away with feeling confident they can handle themselves in a WebEx environment and feel comfortable communicating using the WebEx features.